We are on the week of Thanksgiving. Have you ever thought about different sayings, different quotes? Well, just the other day, I turned on my TV as my two children were taking a nap, and I should have taken a nap too, but I'm glad I didn't because just when I flipped on the channel, I saw Tom Hanks on the bench portraying the ever popular Forrest Gump as he reached into his pocket or his bag and opened up his chocolates and told the lady next to him, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get." And that's what today's episode is all about. Have Faith, Let It Begin starts right now.
Welcome to Have Faith. Let it begin. Here's your host, Angel Santana.
Ariel, can you say have faith?
Again.
Let it begin?
Again.
Say have faith.
Again.
Let it begin.
No.
No? Okay.
It's a boy.
Hi, Noah.
Noah!
Noah.
Jesus. Happy birthday, Noah!
Caitlin.
You did amazing.
You just put those lights on. Noah.
Have faith. Let begin. When it starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Thanksgiving Monday edition of Have Faith, Let It Begin. Back with us as always. We missed him last week, but he's back. He's feeling better than ever. The ever popular, the ever good-looking Dr. Tom Eanelli. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, my friend. Great to be back and good to be on our Have Faith, Let It Begin Mondays. I want to say hello to all our listeners from all over the world. Angel, you're as popular in the jungles of Africa as you are in the urban jungles of the Bronx. You are just an amazingly spiritual and helpful person, and this podcast is invaluable.
And I'm glad you brought that up because, believe it or not, I wanted to write this down. I wrote this down. It's right here on my piece of paper. We were number 3 in India for the month.
Oh,
Yes, number 3 in the month of November. I guess it's like half of October, half of November. Number 3 in India, and we were 187 in the United States. I don't know of how many, but I'll take it. We're getting
that
closer.
sounds. I mean, Jesus, everybody has a podcast, so God bless you, buddy.
Yes,
great.
and this is this is through Spreaker. So thank you for Spreaker for letting us know. So that's why I wanted to do an episode on this Thanksgiving week. First and foremost, have you ever seen Forrest Gump?
Oh, many times. It's a fantastic movie.
It is, and it got me thinking when he was, doing that whole quote, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you're going to get." So I figured what better way than to use that quote as an episode for today. So when I think of that quote, the first thing that actually comes to my mind every single time, and even from the day I saw it for the first time, is, you never can say you choose who your parents are, but God chose my parents for me. And when I think of that quote, I think of my parents, and I think of how important we are to this world as we are brought into this world, and the significant role that we must play as we are direct reflection of them. Many of us have parents who are either still with us or have gone on to be with the Lord. And for some of us, we feel the need to think about them because they're not, let's say, with us right now. But in spirit, they are, and they continue to guide us in a direction that keeps us on the path of righteousness. So I ask you, Dr. E, when you think of that quote, do you think of the same thing, or what do you think about?
Actually, you don't want to hear something funny? I think of something completely different, and maybe it's a little off track, but I'm going to share it anyway. I always think of the underbelly of human nature, and I always think about that person in the office who takes a bite from that, chocolate sampler and doesn't like what they find, and they put it back. So the symbolism of that is that you never know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So if you don't like what you're getting, then make a change, but just don't make a change and put your dirty, filthy half a chocolate back in my box of chocolates. So, we're going to use this as an analogy, as sort of a bit of a, what would you say, an allegory of what these box of chocolates mean. So everyone out there, life really knocks the living crap out of us on a daily basis. There's no doubt about it. As a physician, and Angel as a health provider in the communication services, we see the worst of the worst and the most tragic of the tragic, and we see people suffering all the time. And we do see people take that bite of that chocolate and not like what they're getting. And it's at that point where you need to ask God to give you the fortitude and give you the resilience and give you the strength and the bravery and the courage to be able to not eat that other half of that chocolate and be able to make a change, go back in the box and find the chocolate or the beautiful truffle that satisfies you. And again, just a food analogy, but that's what I got out of it, Angel.
That's good. And that's what I love about these episodes, because it doesn't necessarily mean that what I heard is the same thing you heard. And it's great. And, now that we're on that subject of chocolate, if I'm not, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun or not. If I'm not mistaken, back in the day when we would open up that chocolate, they didn't show the names back then. You actually had to just pick it and chew it. Now, because people have eaten half of the candy, they actually tell you what's in that chocolate. Do they not?
Yes, but sadly, God has not given us that yet. Have that ability to know what decision is going to cause what outcome. Sadly, we're not in the quantum multiverse yet. Maybe our children will know how to do that and jump verses, like in the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a great movie. And we should talk about it next week, actually. I'm going to give you a homework assignment to see that movie, and maybe that'll be our Monday discussion.
I think so too. Real quick, we'll end with the fact that Thanksgiving is just 4 days away. This is a cliche question, but I think that it should be one to ask. What does Thanksgiving mean to you, Dr. E?
That's a really interesting question. So here's what Thanksgiving usually looks like, in my world. We can talk about all the food. That's a whole nother podcast. We could talk about all of our family and everything like that, and reuniting with family and friends. That's another podcast episode. But what I really love the most out of everything, and believe me, as a foodie, all that amazing food, believe it or not, is not my favorite thing about Thanksgiving. It's that moment in time, in that anticipatory, waiting to start digging into that meal, when everybody goes around the table and has to state what it is that they're thankful for. And I find that to be one of the highlights of my entire year, to hear the little children, my nieces and nephews, and then the older kids, like my children are adults now, and then to hear the young adults, and then to hear the young parents, and then the middle agers, and now us gray-haired older folks, and then our older folks, comment on their perspective of what Thanksgiving is to them and what they're thankful for. That is my favorite part of Thanksgiving, without a doubt. So I am thankful for those 10 minutes of thankfulness from everyone that is around my table.
Well said. And I will actually echo that, but I will take it another step further. For me, it is watching the growth. We're in my lifestyle, I shouldn't say lifestyle, but my family, we're growing. We've been growing. So we have so many nieces and nephews that just every time we get together, just to watch where everybody has grown and where they are today or this year. And you start thinking about what next year is going to be in the following years, and just watching the family grow into one, and just watching people having a good time. We've gone through so much problems over the last couple of years, with not being able to be together. So it goes back to what we said in your podcast yesterday. And that's and that was actually last Sunday, which is, you have to live for the moment. You have to be able to respect and honor what today brings, because we don't know what tomorrow will, if it doesn't. So listen, Dr. E, happy Thanksgiving to you and your beautiful wife and your family. I like to always say that you are my part of my family as well. So Dios te bendiga, which means God bless you. And I'll let you have the final say before we do a prayer.
Yep. Well, I am also thankful for the Have Faith, Let It Be community, for all of our listeners, Angel. We are very thankful to them. It is such a complicated and busy and overwhelming world out there with so much content. There are so many channels of TV and so many on-demand movies and so many video games and books and magazines and newspapers and activities and things to do and, whatever. And for you guys to spend these, 12 or 15 minutes every Monday and listen to Angel, and then on Tuesday to hear his funny stories, and Wednesday to pray with him, and Thursday to, hear about his crazy dates or him fighting a big, appliance conglomerate. And then on Fridays, his prayerful Fridays. Thank you for spending those 7 minutes, those 8 minutes, those 12 minutes, those 15 minutes with him at Have Faith, Let It Begin, with me on Have Faith, Let It Begin on Mondays. And if you listen to the CROC podcast, thank you as well. We are very grateful to our survivors. Angel, end it with a prayer.
All right. So, Heavenly Father, we want to start off by reminding each and every one of you that at this time of year, we are reminded of how much we have to be thankful for. And our wish here at Have Faith, Let It Begin is that on this Thanksgiving is that you find yourself surrounded by those you love. May the blessings, that are brought into your life today, tomorrow, be the same love that you will channel your inner being of being good to yourself, to others, but more importantly, allowing yourself to love yourself so that you can love another person. Remember that Thanksgiving is held in the same month of Veterans Day, so we ask you to honor all those brave men and women who serve this great country and who are unable to be home on this day. May we all take a moment to thank them and to remember them and to honor them each and every single day. We must find time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives. There's always something to be thankful for. And the grateful thing that we have in our life, in this world, is to be thankful for, and that is our Heavenly Father. So may God be with you. May He shine His light upon you and grant each and every single one of you peace on earth. Because when you love what you have everything you need. And never forget, have faith.
Let it begin.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, my love. We're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day.